Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger is a German-born American diplomat and political scientist who played a key role in shaping U.S. foreign policy during the second half of the 20th century. He was born on 27 May 1923 in Fürth, Germany, and his family emigrated to the United States in 1938 to escape the persecution of Jews by the Nazis. Kissinger is best known for his service as National Security Advisor and Secretary of State under President Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford. One of his most significant achievements was his role in the diplomatic opening to China in the early 1970s, which eventually led to the normalization of relations between the United States and the People's Republic of China. Henry Kissinger played a pivotal role during the Vietnam War. At the time of his appointment in 1969, the Vietnam War was in full swing, marked by public opposition and rising casualties. Kissinger, known for his strategic thinking, became a key architect of U.S. policy in Southeast Asia. The Nixon administration pursued a strategy called Vietnamization, gradually transferring combat responsibilities to South Vietnam while reducing direct U.S. troop involvement. However, this period also saw an escalation of conflict through intense bombing campaign in North Vietnam, including controversial operations like Rolling Thunder and Linebacker, which drew international condemnation and fueled anti-war protests. Despite the military actions, Kissinger engaged in secret negotiation with North Vietnamese representatives, leading to the sign of the Paris Peace Accord in 1973. This agreement aimed to establish a ceasefire and provide a framework for a political settlement, allowing the withdrawal of U.S. forces for Vietnam. This fulfilled the administration goal of achieving peace with honor, with the last U.S. combat troop leaving Vietnam in 1973. Effectively ending direct U.S. military involvement. However, Kissinger's role in Vietnam War remains a subject of historical debate and controversy. While the Paris Peace Accords were seen as a diplomatic success, the secret bombing campaign and the continuation of military operations received criticism. Kissinger was known for his realist approach to foreign policy, emphasizing the balance of power and national interest. He was involving in various geopolitical issues, including the Middle East conflict, the Cold War, and detonate with the Soviet Union. His diplomatic style and approach were often controversial, and he faced criticism for issues such as the secret bombing of Cambodia during the Vietnam War. The secret bombing of Cambodia, known as Operation Manu, was a controversial and significant aspect of Henry Kissinger's role as National Security Advisor in the Nixon administration. Conducted between 1969 and 1970, this covert military campaign aimed to disrupt North Vietnamese sanctuaries in Cambodia, part of the Nixon administration's strategy to impede North Vietnamese military activities and supply routes. Operation Manu involved the clandestine development of US B-52 bombers to drop tons of explosive over Cambodian territory. The bombing were kept hidden from the public and Congress, contributing to the destabilization of the region. The lack of disclosure led to several humanitarian consequences, with civilian population suffering due to bombing targeting not only North Vietnamese sanctuaries but also Cambodian villages. The covert bombing complicated Cambodian political instability, contributing to internal conflicts and setting the stage for the rise of the Khmer Rouge. Led by Pol Pot, the Khmer Rouge seized power in 1975, initiating a genocide regime that resulted in the death of millions. The secrecy surrounding Operation Manu sparked controversies and criticism when exposed. Public outrage ensued, questioning the legality and morality of the Nixon administration actions. Critics argued that the bombing violated international law and intensified the suffering of the Cambodian people without clear strategic benefits. The legacy of secret bombing of Cambodia remains a dark chapter in U.S. military history and foreign policy, promoting reflection on the conduct of warfare, the limits of executive power, and the unintended consequences of covert military actions. Historians and policymakers continue to debate implications for the broader understanding of war and the responsibilities of those in power. During the same time, the controversy surrounding Henry Kissinger's 1973 Nobel Peace Prize centers on his role in the Vietnam War negotiations. While traditionally awarded for significant contribution to peace, the acknowledgement of Kissinger, a central figure in a conflict marked by extensive loss of life, raised ethical questions. Kissinger's involvement in secret negotiations with North Vietnam led to the Paris Peace Accord, seen as a diplomatic breakthrough ending U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. However, honoring him with the Nobel Peace Prize sparked controversy, as critics argued it conflicted with the prize's intent to recognize peace promotion. The award raised ethical and moral questions, with critics contending that honoring a key architect of a war sent conflict message about peace and justice. The controversy influenced public perception of Kissinger's legacy, as some acknowledged his role in diplomatic negotiations, while others couldn't reconcile it with the broader war context. The Nobel Peace Prize controversy contributed to the historical reflection on Kissinger's legacy, adding complexity to assessment of his contribution to international relations. It promotes discussion about the criteria of awarding the prize and the challenges in navigating the complexity of international diplomacy when evaluating public figure impact on peace and human rights. After leaving office, Kissinger continued to be a prominent voice in international relations, writing extensively on geopolitical issues. While he received praise for his diplomatic achievements, he also faced criticism for his role in controversial policies and actions during his tenure in government.